computer. Yes, I'm recording to this computer.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I did send you I upgraded my P base, which is quite
That
a
looks so cool. Yeah.
yeah. Which
Have you done any recording with it yet?
yeah, actually, I'll send it to you. It's not fully. I mean, I haven't made an MP3 yet, but the song where you sent me some drums, which I couldn't. Both you and Dan sent me drums, but there's something about this laptop, and they won't sync to the original track. So I'm just like, I'll
Oh
just make new
gosh.
tracks with them. So I did that. So
Okay.
so you were drumming to a different song, but yeah,
That's fine. I mean, I
I
think when I send you drums, I'm prepared for you to do whatever you want with them. And
I
then I consider the original track just kind of a guide.
Yeah, I really like that creative process actually. I kind of like if you feel like it, just go drum to some songs you like and then send them to me and don't tell me what
Yeah,
the originals are.
Dan and I did that to do the we performed the score together for a movie I made called Dressed Up. And I just told him to just drum and I would rock out over it. That's how we
Hmm.
came up with it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you ever feel like it, just play along with shit that you
Yeah, my
like
deal
the
is like
boat
the
soundtracks.
oh god, yeah. I usually drum to Cardi B. So
Do
it's like,
that.
yeah. Well, I have before sent you stuff, but yeah. Right now, I in my office is a. I have no room to set the drums at the moment, but I will be making it because I'm starting a band here to do just to the score of a movie
Ah,
with me and
okay.
two other people. Yeah,
Okay, so you have a little space, but yeah, yes. I mean, those drum tracks. I don't care.
yeah.
Hopefully,
No,
Dan's not annoyed when I do that. If he's not, then everything's great.
oh God, who cares? You have provided so much music. I mean, Gonzoriffic is going to be 25 this year in terms of when we dedicated started making movies. And so like I would say 80% of the music in those movies was yours. So as
And
far as I'm concerned, you could do whatever you want, and I owe you for eternity.
and I did put out a set about a month ago. By the way, if you go to the Bandcamp, there's a new album there. You can
Oh, okay.
prowl if you need some tracks.
Well, I was gonna say I'm good about buying those. Just if you can think of it, send me the link in the messenger, and I'll go grab it.
Okay,
Just have to make sure I
and
didn't already buy it because I may
oh,
have.
the Deep Dream Realm.
I'm not sure. It doesn't sound familiar. So maybe now. When did you release that?
Like I think I put it out on my birthday just because it seemed like a good day to put it out.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have it then.
I'll put the link in your Facebook. Anyone else will
Thank
just
you.
have to look up what I just said.
Yeah, because I
The
want to say the last one I
the
bought
dream.
was ended up being the score for Satan, Sluts for
Oh, you
Satan.
that was one of the binaural ones, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So just kind of like droning sound,
That
which
was
is, but I mean
perfect.
that's
It was
yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah, yeah. That's
perfect.
good stuff too for that. But yeah, these are more like rock, like kind of shoegazy folk rock tracks or whatever. Very much in my pocket. Just because I have
Did I ever
offsets now,
send
I want
you
to play with the tremolo bars.
did I ever send you Sluts for Satan so you could see what happened to Oscar?
I think he sent me some stills, but I didn't get like the complete
Okay, I'm gonna
movie.
send you the movie then, because you deserve to see like the fate of Oscar
I saw the
Pelschmicker.
image and I was like, oh, but yeah, I could actually probably play Oscar pretty close to what he looked like 20 years ago right now. So I
Yeah, I
thought
was
it was
gonna
funny
say
when you sent
no.
me the image.
Well, that honestly, I gave him the glasses that you wore, though. I still had those.
Oh, right, right.
But yeah, you've got to see it. I do show like a flashback of original Oscar, so you are in the credits of the movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, it shows that there's a police interrogation during Oscar's police interrogation. It shows like what he had done
Ah,
in a
okay.
black and white flashback. So it's that little massacre scene. No, you'll like it. It's the movie's
Okay.
a trip, but all your music is all through it.
Okay, cool. Uh, Speaking of music, I guess we do this episode that's
Yes.
about music. So yeah, all the shit we were talking wasn't like necessary off topic, but
Mm-mm.
oh, the one thing I was gonna say just on P, I definitely come down to I want P bass thump more than jazz bass growl. I keep the tone knob at like 5%, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear
So
that. I preferred that for recording, but for live, I just couldn't. It
I
just
can see
didn't really.
yeah, live might be a different thing. So
Yeah, I had ended up having two separate bases, one for recording and one for doing live shows.
yeah, usually if I want something different, I'll more well the jazz bass I have is still a fretless, right? So that's
I
obviously
was
for
gonna ask that.
recording as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
And then I got a bass six, which that's in a different, like this track with your drumming. Actually, I had a guitar part on it, and it sounded too much like the track I'd recorded the week previous, so I switched it for a bass six, like in guitar mode, because like which the lineman style. So,
Yeah, that
because I was
bass
like,
six is so cool.
yeah, it's very versatile. It's not the most comfortable thing to play because it is in a weird. I mean, the reason that those aren't more popular is they are in a weird space, with the string and uh, how, the space between the string and how thick the strings are. It just because yeah, it doesn't
Oh, is it a
quite
little
feel like a
taxing
guitar.
on the wrist or?
No, it's more just it feels a little weird because you have guitar mode and you have bass mode and the bass six
Hmm.
puts you like kind of in the middle, right? So it's kind of I
I
have
still.
just this year, maybe because all my guitars now have like the 7.5 radiuses, but I've
Mhm.
become much more of a thumb over player now. Like for on
On guitar,
guitar,
I've become, but not
yeah.
bass.
Yeah, bass not so much unless I'm being lazy, but yeah, guitar I've just been doing a lot of just this year I was like watching like YouTube videos like I noticed Al Jardine. You think I noticed Hendrix doing it first, but yeah, I noticed Al Jardine doing it. I was like, oh, interesting. And
No, Frusciante was definitely
he's
like
all over it. Yeah.
all he's a big like well, I mean, certainly during Stadium Arcadium, but probably since then too, he really got that thumb over thing happening in
I,
that
I
one.
think I think you have to play on the more round radiuses to really pull it off.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Yeah. So for
Yeah.
most modern guitars probably you don't want to do that, but yeah, I have. And they're like, oh, when you bend a string, it frets out. Like, I don't have, maybe because I set my guitars up well enough, that doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yeah, no.
one of my coworkers used to work for Fender Mexico. So whenever I have like an issue, I can just like show it to him and he'll like do some weird wizard look at it and know what to do.
Well, I mean, Fender Mexico, that was the thing. You get one from there, and then you have it, have it kind of straightened out, and it's actually plays just as good as one of the
Well,
American
that's
ones.
that's that's why because these Japanese ones, I bought this 2 blocks away from the factory it's built in, and sold
Hmm.
one 2 blocks away from the factory. They're both
That's
from the same
awesome.
factory, but it's Japanese build, which I think is generally better than American build, but it's got the American pickups and the American
Right.
like hardware. So that's been the sweet spot for my guitars. So
Cool. You
they're all
cracked the
Japanese
code.
build and American pickups, except for the Strat, but those are like custom pickups. So someone's thinking about them pretty hard in Japan. Well, it's a signature guitar, right? But it's like he didn't put his signature on the guitar, and I only know who the guy is. So I own a signature guitar of a musician that I'm not familiar with.
So it's just a guitar.
Yeah, but well, his signature guitars make it as much like a worn in 1965 Stratocaster as possible. So you don't have to be a fan to want that.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
It's like it's got the neck heel, it's been shaved down as if it's been refretted several times, which you can't even see that. You'd have to take off the neck to see that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I did take off the neck of the bass just to confirm it was the good one, which it is. So it was the
Oh,
first time I
okay.
took the neck off of an instrument, which is
I was
kind
gonna
of.
say I can't say I've
But
ever done that.
by the time I finished, when I was doing the final, my hand was like shaking like this because I just bought this like somewhat expensive instrument and I'm taking the neck off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
It was
thinking
after
it
I
would be
bought it when I went to check because I was like, if they miss, I can still return it if it's not, and they won't let you take the neck off in the store, right?
no. They don't like
Well,
when
they
you're
might.
messing with this. Why are all
It
these
was a
strings
used
off?
store. If it was a actual guitar store, they might, but it was like like the used store. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to let you do that there.
No, you break, you buy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I was saying, I guess we should do this, and then I started ranting again.
It's fine.
Oh. Welcome to Time Enough. Let's do that one more time. It's been 2 weeks since I did this, man, or longer.
Okay.
I fucked up the name of the podcast. It's great. Good start. Welcome to Time Enough Podcast. We sing our way, clap our way through all of the episodes of The Twilight Zone. As always, this is Matt here. Coming back, it's Andrew. How is it?
Hey.
Ooh. So yeah, we're in season 2, which of the Peel Zone, which does have kind of a different vibe. Did you get all these on original air date of June
Yeah.
25th, 2020?
Yeah, I did because I here in the United States there was this an app called CBS All Access.
I was trying to clap over you, and I think Zoom just cuts it all out. Says the bit didn't
Okay.
work. I was going to do it once and then not do it again, but it didn't even work. You just kept talking, and it was funny. Maybe you saw me clapping.
You were clapping, but it was the sound of no hand clapping.
There's a sound of no. Sorry okay, anyway, I interrupted you anyway, but CBS All Access, yes.
Yeah, that's where. So I subscribed to that for the 2 years that, or the 2 seasons, because you it was one of the subscriptions where you kind of pause it until the show you want comes back on, and you have to keep paying for it when there's nothing. So that's what I did, and so yeah, I watched them all, and then never again until the comedian, and then for this, which interestingly, I drew some parallels to
I was
this too.
actually I was just, I like the next day I just like to look over a quick summary, which Wikipedia didn't have for these. So I was looking at a review to get that summary. They were
A
also noting the
review?
comedian.
Whose review?
I don't know. Let's see. I was like the first one. Like I just wanted a plot summary. Den
I hear
of
you.
Geek, if anyone's interested.
Den of Geek.
Yeah,
It's like
just
a bunch of
wanted to
assholes.
make sure I remembered every all the plot points properly. But it's hard to find summaries for the series. The original series, you can find very detailed summaries of everything if you want. You can not watch the episodes and get them down, but not so much for these.
It's because of how many racists there are. I hate Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was saying a racist. I was like, oh, I don't feel like that many people are racist against singers, but yeah, yeah. See, I'd forgotten about Jordan Peele. Except, I mean, I know he's here and all that, but yeah,
Mhm.
that doesn't compute. I mean, uh, what was? Oh yes, the one I was kind of. I definitely get you mentioned the comedian, and so did the review I saw. The one I got was maybe because I just watched it was Meet in the Middle, the first episode of the season, where it's just where a guy gets, kind of slowly drawn totally batty by a supernatural thing and then murders somebody.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's one where the girl's in his head, like literally, and
yeah, yeah. I do
yeah,
remember
then he
that.
ends up yeah. So, but that was like 3 episodes ago in the series. So I was like kind of a similar trajectory, person is a little weird, gets really weird, and then murders someone for no particular reason. Because both him, I think it was Phil in that episode, and Jasmine. It's not like they start off like well adjusted or anything.
Yeah, no. Well, if you've got oh gosh, I just saw her in like two different movies. The woman who plays that character, the actor
The
uh,
main
that
role.
plays that plays Jasmine.
Yeah,
Her name
Journey
escapes me.
Smollett was in is the
Yeah,
TV
okay.
shows Lovecraft Country Smoke. So I'm just reading my trivia that I'm about to read anyway.
Yeah, yeah. She was she just plays that so well, you know? There's always something going on with her other than what's, plain to see on the screen.
Yeah, I was about to start talking about Tawny Newsome, so I guess I should just rip the Band-Aid off and do this trivia. Um,
Do it.
do it. The original air date is still June 25th, 2020. It took me 3 episodes before I realized, wait a minute, these were all just dumped on the same day.
No.
Yeah. We've got 3 writing credits: Emily Chang, Sarah Amini, and David Weil. Weil's credits are a bit sparse, but Chang and Amini can usually be found acting. Chang is in the Total Recall remake and the Vampire Diaries, and Amini's in Lucky Hank and Future Man. What's your take on the Total Recall remake?
I preferred it in a lot of ways. Like Paul Verhoeven movies are a genre to themselves. So I I can't really like, measure those against anything.
That
Like
makes
even when it comes to
sense.
like well, because like think about this, like there's nunsploitation and then there's Benedetta. You can't, if you were to put any other nunsploitation movie against Benedetta, that movie would lose. I don't care who made it. Just
Okay.
Franco, I don't care. That movie is bananas. So
Yeah,
Total Recall is just complete Verhoeven excess, and again a satire of American culture. That's all. That's his game. I feel like the remake um, does better at making Colin Farrell the everyman. Because remember, Schwarzenegger,
Schwarzenegger's never an everyman.
no, not in Running Man and not in Total Recall. Just like regular guy, Conan the Barbarian at his Fred Flintstone job. You
I'm a
know,
regular guy.
like there's a bomb in there.
Anyway, I have to like the original better. I mean, it's too much iconic stuff, but I don't have the hate for the remake that everyone seems to have. I'm like, it's a
Oh
pretty good
God, come
movie. If
on,
they didn't
dude.
call it Total Recall, I think people would like it a lot better. They
I
just
mean, then
changed a
they'd
few
say it ripped
names.
it off. You know, you can't win.
Yeah.
People just don't like things. They don't like stories being readapted or retold. And I don't know why. Because there's so many movies that, okay, we could just do this whole thing about that and we shouldn't. So,
Okay, I guess we'll continue with the trivia. Uh, Anna Lily Amirpour directed. She is known for films such as The Girl Walks Home at Midnight, The Bad Batch, and Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. Girl Walks Home at Midnight is described as an Iranian vampire flick. Yeah, have you seen any of these?
I own A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It is awesome. That next one she did, I was a little disappointed by, but the Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is awesome. I mean, the vampire, it's in black and white, the vampire skateboards. I mean, just in the music, you would probably love it because music is a huge component in that and the way it's used. Did you ever see the remake of Maniac by any chance with Elijah
No,
Wood?
no,
The
no.
music in that is also incredible. As a matter of fact, I remember that more than I do anything else that happened in it. Same with the vampire one.
Just as I was typing, I was like, I gotta ask you about those movies, don't I? As mentioned before, Jasmine Delaney was played by Journey Smollett. She's also had regular roles on Lovecraft Country and Smoke. I'm saying that for the second time. Tawny Newsom was Zara Delancey. Geez, can't talk today. She's best known, especially by me, for her role as Ensign Beckett Mariner on Star Trek Lower Decks. Now that I guess the sun is setting on modern Trek, Lower Decks is my favorite, yeah, of
Hmm.
recent Trek. So I was pleased as punch to see Tawny here. Sky, yeah, Sky Ferreira, am I saying that right? Was Fiji. She has a proper music career and appeared as an actor in Baby Driver and Twin Peaks: The Return. I don't remember what she did in Twin Peaks: The Return, but I did love Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, I think she was also in Green Inferno,
Okay,
maybe.
add that in. Sure.
Small role that's a great cannibal movie. But I don't trust my own memory anymore, so
I don't trust my pronunciation. I did know I was going to stumble all over her last name when I was typing it too. So at
sure.
least in that case, it's not like the name of the podcast, right? I should really get it right. I messed that up at the beginning if you weren't listening to the uncut version. Jimmy O'Malley was played by Paul F. Tompkins. Tompkins is all over the place. Mr. Show if you're old school. There will be blood if you're into Oscar bait. Great Oscar bait, by the way. I love that movie. Dr. Miglimo on the aforementioned Star Trek Lower Decks. Do you know Dr. Miglimo?
No,
He's
I
a he's a
don't.
do- he's a bird therapist, and he talks almost exclusively in food metaphors when he's trying
See,
to
I
do therapy with you.
I always check out at least the first episode of every new Trek because of you, but I don't recall catching that, so it must not have been in the
Miglimo doesn't
first
show
one.
up till maybe season two. I think it takes a little
Okay.
while for me, maybe later in season one, but he's not in the first couple episodes for sure. Um, it's when they finally tell Tawny Newsom's character, you need to go get therapy, and she gets therapy from this like food metaphor obsessed bird man.
I love it.
Voiced by Paul F. Tompkins, who also is all over the podcast. You'll find him on like 87 podcasts. So not ours, though.
Yeah,
We're not big
okay.
enough for him.
Yeah, I want to say I've interviewed one of these people because somebody does like a B movie podcast or something, some comedian does, and I spoke to him, but
I think
I don't
lots of
know if it's
comedians
him.
do.
Yeah.
uh,
Anyway.
Thomas Lennon was J.J. Malloy. Reno 911 is kind of a gaping hole in my pop culture knowledge, but Malloy was Lieutenant Jim Dangle for 124 episodes of that series.
I know Niecy Nash from that. I never watched it.
Well, I feel like you're not a big TV. Well, I'm not a big TV guy either, but yeah,
No, but
just
I know Thomas Lennon obviously from The State.
oh, okay, yeah, there we go. I didn't notice that, did I? That's what happens when you're just like rough shotting your trivia. Um, sorry, I'm actually talking and searching to get you the monologue, which I forgot to get before this
Okay.
episode, and will now be tossing into the chat. Actually, you just stop talking, and it'll be an edit point because I'm not.
Oh, I see it.
Okay,
Going there
okay,
now.
there we go. If you could go ahead and give us a bit of the opening narration.
Okay, so I don't remember if when we did the comedian, if I did Serling's voice or if I just did a regular. But I
Everyone's
think,
confused around here.
well, well, I mean, I could have easily listened back to it, but I never listened to stuff that has me on it. I'm always shocked when I accidentally hear myself. Uh, I'm going to do Serling though, even though this isn't his show per se. Are you ready? Jasmine Delancey spent her entire life in search of one thing, applause. Now that she's found it, it's given her a new sense of meaning. But what exactly is the value of an ovation so loud it drowns out performance? Jasmine's about to find out here in Untrodden.
That's right, the Tweety.
That's
uh,
my thing when I do Serling. He
no,
he he does.
he can say the name of his show.
No, he gets a little Chris Matthews at the very end of it. That's why.
Yeah, I was thinking watching this, and my perspective, I guess, I make a lot of music, and it's at this point I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much making it for myself. It's like making your own beer or something. I mean, I know it's in your movies and stuff too, but I'm just like,
Mhm.
it's like at this point I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get the ovation. I'm not gonna get drowned out like the Beatles or Jasmine do, or was it Zara? Yeah. So
Did you
I'm
want
kind of
to at any point? Like, were you
yeah.
ever thinking
Uh,
you?
I mean, yeah, I think it's probably all of us. Wouldn't it be cool if, like we put out albums that people listen to, you know?
Mhm.
But the point for me
Well,
has always been making the music, right? So,
yeah, see, for me it wasn't. I was, if you recall, and if we're allowed to get into this, I was asked to join the Fetal Pigs because I had long hair, not because anyone knew whether or not I had
and you
singing
wrote
ability.
poems. I
I
remember
did
that
I write
distinctly.
poems?
This is our junior high band we're talking about here,
Yeah, yeah,
folks.
yeah. Um, and so every other band and project that I did, except for the very last like regularly gigging band I was in, Born to Please, kind of I feel like burned itself out before it had a chance to really do anything, or it went as far as it could go. But that band, Born to Please, which was together from 2000 to 2003, that's where I personally found out how far I wanted to take the kind of music thing. I, in fact, did not want to go on tour and did not want to sign to a label, which going on tour would then be par for the course. So I stopped it there.
In my 20s, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I think maybe I was like always like kind of maybe moving around is like kind of constantly making excuses. Well, am I going to be in this spot for 6 months? Well, now I live on the other side of the world. That said, I
Hmm.
now live in an insane musical den that I never had when I was, in the States or anything. So,
Right.
there are, but this room has what, like 12 guitars, a couple synthesizers, some percussion.
But you were always like a visionary though. You were able to hear things in your head. You were able to hear complete songs in your head. I was never like that. I lived for the experience of being on stage, which I can get at karaoke easily, you know.
See, I'm about sitting down at the recording in the studio and like basically putting a puzzle together, you know? That's kind of
Yeah,
I
which
guess
is why
my
you've
bandwidth.
yeah, which is why you are by far the most prolific musician than anybody I ever played music with. You
Well,
know,
yeah,
you're the
it's
only
like
one who
it's like making a
continuously do it.
sketch, you know? It's like people who like to sketch all the time, you know?
Mhm. Well, I movies ended up being my thing, so I get you.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you can crank that out. So, but yeah, the point with Jasmine and here is I guess she really the idea she wants the fame and fortune. I mean, she's a busker, so I don't know. I never busted too much. Maybe a little bit, not that much.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of the accidental busk. People throw money at you to stop.
But the ideas her song is just like it's kind of okay. Which one we she's just playing on acoustic guitar, which when it is quiet, she's not playing it very well. But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, she's not with a band. She's not in a studio. We're not really sure that she sucks.
No,
You could
no, she
sing it
wasn't
out a note,
terrible, but
whatever.
yeah,
And
she was. I don't think being good was the point.
yeah. I mean, well, you take the Beatles. Notoriously, they stopped touring in part, death threats didn't help, and also because they couldn't hear themselves play. Like, if you want a good Beatles performance, you actually go to the Budokan 1966 one because it was a Japanese crowd that was like weirdly quiet.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, we can hear ourselves play, and we're not very good anymore."
I didn't know that about them. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, and then John Lennon ends up going out pretty much the same way that Zara does in this episode.
Yeah, oh gosh. Well,
Not by a sibling, I guess, in Lennon's case, but
no, but still though, she didn't realize who it was until it was too late, right? I mean,
that is a flaw of the episode. I'm like, wait, didn't we already know that was his sister for like 10 minutes?
that to me, yeah, the way that it plays, you're like, come on, dude. I think maybe you just know and you're not waiting to it's not a shock that it's her sister, it's a shock that she kills her.
That's the shock. But yeah, I mean, I still feel like they're trying to get away with, oh my God, it turns out it's her sister. I'm like, yeah, I mean, even from the shots in the back, that was pretty clear.
Yeah, and the eyes, I mean, it
The
was like, are we
magazine, once
really?
you see the magazine, you're like, oh, that's sister. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have, like I thought
But there
that was the
weren't
reveal.
there were so few characters. Who could it be? You know what I mean?
Was 2020 the year of crazy women isolating themselves in cabins? Isn't that what the Scarlet Witch also did in 2020?
I don't remember. I didn't know anyone that did that. And Crazy Women are kind of my favorite, so I
I,
don't
I
know.
think that's what happens with yeah, at the end of WandaVision or whatever.
Yeah, and I finally watched that before something came
Probably
out. I
Doctor
don't
Strange
remember.
too.
Maybe because I love that one. That's the Sam Raimi one, right?
Yeah, that's got zombie Strange in it.
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
That's a weird. I just rewatched that like a month ago. I love the Sam Raimi bits, but it's got so much like Marvel shoe leather. I
Marvel.
can't I
Yeah.
can't love the movie.
Uh,
Like I just got
they.
recommend. I just watched the Marvels because people. I was actually asking a question. What's a movie that? And this is not a question for you. Your brain's too broken for this question. But a movie that you think is great that everyone else hates. You can go on for 8+ hours about that. I know. But several people's answers were the Marvels. So I went and watched it, and I thought it was just as good as any post 2019 Marvel movie. So
Oh, I love that one. That's one of the ones I tend to
I still
rewatch is
didn't
the
love it
Marvels.
though. I still didn't love it though.
Well, nobody
It
does. Me and my family are the only ones, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's still a Megamind house, I guess, if we're looking for family ones that we like that
My
no
gosh,
one's into.
Megamind is
We hate the minions, by the
legendary.
way. We hate the
Yeah.
minions in this house.
Oh no, same.
Because Megamind, everyone forgot Megamind. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, I'm with you there. We loved it. We saw Megamind in the theater.
but
Uh,
yeah, but yeah, her performance because she never gets through a song. The clapping starts instantly, and
mhm.
again, you and I played in bands. I'm thinking of the time we went on a Wednesday night to play a gig with and played for 4 people, all of whom we gave a ride to and from the show. Like
That's
that's the
awesome.
opposite
I've
of
played to less
Ovation.
than that since then.
Yeah.
I played to less than that. I played to my brother and his friend, who I don't know if we drove there, but that was at Georgia State University.
Ah, okay. But yeah, that's another thing. I mean, anyone that really getting into music, that does make the supernatural element, the weird piece of 8 pirate gold. I mean, it is a cool supernatural element. I do like having the weird Twilight Zone artifact, which almost seems weird and anachronistic in like a modern show, but it's very charming.
Well, I mean, this one is a I guess it's like some of those wish-based episodes, like the old ones. The one with the genie, the nice place to visit, the love potion one. There's one that's called something, the Big Wish or the Big Tall Wish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The one with the guy, the telekinetic guy.
I mean,
It's
there's probably 10 more. I mean,
Yeah, no, those are just off off the top. So Twilight Zone, yeah, Twilight Zone historically just loves a be careful what you wish for type of story. Because the comedian was like that. The other episode that I was on was one of those, except for I think the comedian is he's killing people. It's like one of those moral dilemma kind of
ways
things
of
where it's
disappearing people, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
here
but I
she's just getting clapped at for basically nothing she did, right?
well, this is less about I think the character and more about just making a comment on this type of culture, because you've got this kind of America's Got Talent, uh, the what is it called, American Idol type of situation that she gets into, and that's kind of how she becomes famous. I mean, that fully happens. And has been happening for decades.
And another interesting non-Twilight Zone thing to compare this with would I think it's maybe 2019 was Yesterday, the Danny Boyle movie where the everyone's forgotten about the Beatles, so the one guy that remembers the Beatles just starts playing Beatles songs.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And at the
Yeah,
end of
that
the
was
movie, it's interesting because it turns out there are like three other people who also remember the Beatles, and instead of like accusing them, they're just like, kind of like, thanks, it's nice to hear those again. That is a weird movie. Like,
No, I didn't run out to see it, but there were people that were just like, uh, it's bizarre, and I was like, well, I like Danny Boyle, you know what I mean? So that was why I ended up watching it.
that said, I feel like it has a similar kind of vibe, but I mean, I'm talking about a movie that's relatively well known versus an obscure Twilight episode. So saying I think Yesterday kind of took weird, supernatural elements and used them better for looking at, popularity in music is,
Yeah.
and this is a movie. I would say Yesterday is, if I were rating it, I'd give it maybe a 6 or a 7, but admitting that there are 10-point elements and 2-point elements also in the movie, you know?
Okay. Fair. Yeah.
It's like a average rating, but with a wild outliers is my rating for Yesterday. This one is I enjoyed this Twilight Zone episode. Something that has been a conversation this season is the season 2 episodes feel a lot more like the 60s Twilight Zone episodes, but they're also kind of backing off on like saying things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here you've got, I mean, you can have that kind of externalized blame on like the cursed objects, or like
Yeah,
the
blame the
cultural
coin.
forces.
I
Yeah.
guess even at the end of season 1, when we did the Blue Scorpion, and it's like blame the gun, and we're like, yeah, that episode didn't seem to have much to say, except at the very end, it's like, oh, kids found a gun. That's not good, is it? And that's
Right.
that's after we just called all men monsters 2 episodes previous.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The season
No,
2
and
is not taking wild swings like calling all men monsters. And
no,
and
and
that's
that
one
was
of
a
my favorite episodes
disappointment.
from season 1, so I'm not slamming
Yeah.
it on that rubric.
No, season two was a drop off for me compared to season one. And I think it was a response to all the criticism season one faced because people like absolutely just can't handle what a real Twilight Zone, like what Rod Serling probably would have done if he could have. You know what I mean? Like it pissed a lot of people off. That's what season one of Peele's Twilight Zone did. And so I felt like two was season two was a little bit more of the kid gloves comparatively.
At the same time, though, there does seem to be a little more craft in it. Like, it
Yes.
doesn't even feel like there's more budget. Just maybe because they'd already done season 1, it's just like
Yeah.
like any show. Like a year or two, it's the machine's getting a little better oiled. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's almost like I feel like if this were season 1 and season 1 were season 2, it would like work out better.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Though this would be more. I guess they wanted to come out swinging. I don't know.
Yeah, and they really came out swinging, didn't they? So I mean, I guess that's the problem if you do everything from the start and you take a step back later, it's kind of
Hmm.
obvious. So, because I
Well,
mean,
I
this
think
this
people.
episode's like, oh, like you were talking about blaming, blaming the object, but I'm like, oh, the perils of fame. I mean, that's not a very controversial thing to. It's interesting, it's fun. We have things to talk about, but it doesn't stand on the controversial edge that some of the season 1 episodes did.
No, and I think like stuff like celebrity worship though. I mean, I think that as a person who works in the news media for their regular gig, I have to be on social media for the first like hour of my shift every day, sometimes hour plus, depending on if there's a big, news story happening where you're trying to get like multiple sides of what's going on. But like fame due to algorithm or just any attention that is kind of like divorced from actual talent, I guess is what I'm saying. Like you just kind of see that more, and the endless applause for absolutely no reason. Like that part where she's totally bombs the song she's doing in front of the audience and it doesn't matter. They're just like, I think that for me that was more of like less about what's happening to the character in the story in that moment and just more of a comment, or indictment, I guess, if you wanted to go further with it.
Yeah, because here it seems like she really has one song, right?
Yeah.
And that's true in a lot of other things like this. And again, as a guy who feels weird if I haven't sat down and made a new song in a few weeks, Like I'm like I can't wrap my head around like I just have this one song I'm running around with and that's my calling card and everything.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a big hit and you have other stuff, that's different. That's kind of like the that thing you do thing where it's like they got the one
Yeah.
mega hit and their other music isn't bad, but none of it catches on any fire, right?
God, what band was it? And I don't even know. I read about this in like the late 90s. There was apparently some band that had some post-grunge radio success, and they had their first album was stuff that they'd been playing together in the band since high school. And when it came time to writing songs as adults for their follow-up record, they absolutely could not do it.
Well, playing in bands, like you get that set, you do a few gigs, and then you come in and like, hey, I got a new song, and I was like, let's just run through the set, dude.
Yeah. No, and I especially with like I said, that last band I was in, it got successful on local levels so quickly. I was high profile so quickly. We had a couple people in the band that had never experienced that before with bands. A couple of them were in their band for the first time, and they weren't like, they had the attitude of just like, they'll separate it into camps really quickly. Like we had like the 10-year band career zap into 2 years because it was just like immediately everyone was like, I don't want to write with this person. I don't want to write with this person. And, being at rehearsal was such a freaking slog. Songwriting was a slog. If you had to kind of almost bring your own song into it, it was awful. Like I couldn't wait for that to be over. And finally I quit. And
And very much
that was the end of it.
I'm on the opposite end where I sit by myself. One interesting thing though, is I found I can't really write lyrics anymore. I've had other people writing lyrics for like 10 years. Before that I wrote a lot of lyrics, but I did find I haven't done it. It's kind of atrophied now. I mean, I
Yeah.
could start trying again if I felt like it, but
Oh, I can't tell you when was the last time I wrote a poem. I mean, if we want to, I'll give something personal on this. The last time I wrote a song was the night before my daughter was born, and she's about to turn 13. I recorded an EP of all the songs that I had written post the band breakup. There was a whopping seven of them. So in 4 years, I managed seven songs, basically. That's pretty bad.
But at the same time, what is songwriting? I mean, my process. So this one with Jasmine clearly is just like, singer songwriter vibe, right? Is what she's doing. And her sister, what is she doing? Like electro dance or something? We don't hear much at all of Zara's music, do we?
No, but I'm assuming it's dance pop just from
From the
you know,
magazine cover kind of shouts that out, right?
yeah, and movies that we've gotten it since, like The Trap and Smile Part Two. Excellent, excellent meditations on pop stardom. And they're both horror.
Because
You know.
sometimes I'll grab a guitar and try writing a song, but more often I'm like I get a rhythm track, put something on that, maybe put a riff on it, put the bass on, and then I just start looking through lyrics in my email box that I've been sent to find one that kind of fits, you know?
Wow, interesting. I would
So
not have guessed that, but I
when I've
understand
done
it
the riff
completely.
and everything, I don't even know what the vocal part's going to be most of the time. So
Yeah,
that again,
wow.
it's
Well,
like building a puzzle, right? More so that's maybe the
yeah.
charm in it for me.
So
Anyway,
you don't
that's
do you don't
I
do the
don't do
vomit
what.
draft. I used to do the vomit draft of just like making noises and like emphasis at certain parts of the
Doesn't
song.
Tenacious D do that? Like, dude, that's the
I
ice
don't
cream song.
Oh no. No, for me it was more like I guess closer to the way the Migos were doing their albums, kind of in the studio, just kind of doing this kind of phonetic thing until building on it, and you've got a song. But no, I'm sorry, we're way we've in the
Well,
in the sidebar.
okay, another comparison point then with this episode that I find very interesting, and I know you know about this, is it 91 or 92 Red Hot Chili Peppers Saturday Night Live performance, right? Where John
Woo!
Frusciante shows on stage and intentionally plays like crap for both songs.
Yes, and he screams his head off
Right,
for
right.
the
Which,
backing vocals.
and I do remember us at the time. Oh, the Chili Peppers are going to be on because we couldn't afford tickets to go see him live at that time or anything. So they're like, oh,
Mhm.
good, we'll see him on Saturday Night Live. And we're like, oh wow, like we didn't really know what to make of that at the time. I think we're like, was it good?
Yeah, somebody in that band didn't want the level of fame at that time. He was much younger, and it broke him. He went from Chili Pepper fan to well, you guys can watch you have Netflix there? The that
Pretty
Hillel
much
Slovak
everything ends up on
documentary?
Amazon. Whatever streaming
Okay.
service you say in Japan is like check Amazon Prime.
Okay. Yeah, there's a great documentary about them that just came out. It's about it focuses on Hillel Slovak, you know,
Mm-mm.
and John's just kind of a thing near the end. But you think about how young he was,
And
that would have
even up
snapped
to
anybody.
today, I mean, for he's in one of the biggest bands in the world. I mean, still, but he's always like in and out, in and out. You know, it's like "God, I want to make some music that doesn't sound like bro funk jams. Which, and I love the Chili Peppers, but yeah, they are kind of stuck in bro funk jam territory. I mean, we
I
got
mean,
Flea
it's one
just
of
put out
those
his trumpet
things.
album. You know.
If it's one of the only rock bands I still listen to, if the only one, just because that trumpet album, by the way, did you like it or no?
I haven't heard it yet. I just know it came out like last week, right?
Yeah, it's so good. Like I love it. I
Okay,
wouldn't be
maybe I'll
surprised
track
if
it down.
musically you got into it because there's plenty of bass on it. You
Yeah, yeah.
know, like that's it's not completely absent, but
I
it's
haven't heard it.
good.
It was like fusion or something, like kind of fusiony.
I don't know if I'd even call it that. It's
Okay.
just very him. It's
I'll just
very
have to go
him.
check it out then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do find that is one of the most interesting bands to look at because you have the other members of the band who have just been riding the fame train for 4 decades now, you know,
hmm
and one who couldn't handle it at all. Although he's there now, so great.
I see. That's the thing. I think this is his. I don't think he's gonna leave. I think this is it. You know,
Hmm.
that's
I
what I
mean,
think.
well, you can't get in his head, man. I can get in your head with questions though, so I guess I'll start doing the
Let's do
questions
it.
here.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Who in this episode goes in or through? Oh, sorry. Before the questions, clapping surgery patient. Sorry, we weren't going to get out the episode without the clapping surgery patient. That was my favorite thing of the whole episode.
Okay, for those who haven't seen it or don't know the context of that, at this point, the character of Jasmine, we talked about the fact that she's like just bombing on this TV show, and the audience is clapping so hard she can't even hear herself to kind of correct what she's doing, and they love every like if she was to fart, they'd go crazy. It's just at that level of satire, and so she runs to get help from her sister, who is works at a hospital, and I think is maybe a surgeon or something like that. And anyway, they're in the middle of open heart surgery. And when she comes to the hospital looking for her sister, all the people in the surgery room start applauding too. And then the guy who's out on the table, chest splayed open, very kind of gory shot of this guy's open chest. He's unconscious except for his hands are clapping. It was so good, but also hilarious.
Yeah, we were talking Raimi earlier. I'm like, that was a very Sam Raimi feeling moment where you just
It
putting the
was. You'd
most
expect.
grotesque thing in you can for maximum comedic effect.
I know you're waiting in that scene for the moose head to turn it.
The other thing that came through my mind, have you heard of the dancing plague of 1518?
I have. I totally have.
That
Yes.
went through my mind. Like everyone just has to start clapping around Jasmine. So I was like, the weird, uncontrolled dancing in Strasbourg.
Yeah, it
Um,
was, and they just danced till they dropped dead. And I wouldn't surprise me if that was kind of the inspiration there.
might have been. Blood would pool into their swollen feet and they would eventually bleed into their shoes.
Hmm
Wow. The victims did not succumb to a heart attack. They would collapse from extreme exhaustion, hunger, and thirst. Okay.
That's right.
Weird stuff. Yeah, I mean, you could do a whole podcast on that, couldn't you? But yes, the
People have.
yeah, the uncontrolled clapping did have me, and then it might be a direct inspiration, like you suggested. So, um, let's do those questions now. Then, who in this episode goes in or through the Twilight Zone?
Hmm. What was my? I had a rule about this.
If Rod,
Did
or
they
in this
give it
case
away in the
Jordan, says
narration?
it, which this says Jasmine's about to find out here in the Twilight Zone.
Hmm.
So that would, I mean, you'd have to be insane not to say Jasmine because she goes
Right, but
insane,
does
right?
she end up in a
I think
different
she does.
place?
She's being arrested. Her life is destroyed because of a dumb coin.
Like she's in jail. That's not the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, but she's
Hmm.
also nuts. Sister's dead, so we have discussed before if death is the Twilight Zone, which,
No, I
uh,
don't think so.
no, it's
No,
like
you can't because you can't go anywhere if you're dead.
quite a long time ago, you said if you can't see how this character is going to continue, that puts them squarely in the Twilight Zone, and it is weird to see
Okay.
how Jasmine continues from this point.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for remembering that because there's no way I would have. So yeah, you would have to be insane not to say Jasmine because there's just not enough characters to go around, you know? You see her
That yeah.
manager either not recognize her or he's just like, get away from me, but no
Yeah.
one seems to know who she
Well, even
is.
when he's keen on the music, the manager just what I wrote the quote down. He just says you need to play your famous song. Like the song doesn't even have a name. It's just yes, we need you to play your famous song.
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
O'Malley's
Okay.
set, by the way, man, that was a good set. I wish a Real Talk Show had that set.
Yeah,
It was like
that's true.
mid-century modern out the wazoo.
It looked cool. Um, okay, so yeah, she's definitely gone to Twilight Zone because in what world would people absolutely not be able to recognize someone who used to be extremely famous? You know what I mean? Definitely Twilight Zone.
For literally 15 minutes, well, of the runtime of this
Yeah.
episode, I should say. I guess
Do
she
we
was
talk about why
technically
her
famous for a week.
sister didn't go crazy over her like everyone else was doing?
Well, we talked about the surgery scene where I think that certainly I almost brought that up when we were talking about the surgery scene. I'll say that, but we
Okay,
didn't.
we went on a lot of tangents on this episode due to our respective musical whatevers. But do you want to like break in and mention that?
I was thinking about that when we were watching the episode. Maybe it's because she knows about the coin. If you know about the coin, you're not affected by the coin. I don't
Did you
know.
know about the coin the first time you
At
saw
the
her?
beginning, though, the whole point with Fiji is that Jasmine doesn't freak out around Fiji and has like a kind of normalish conversation, after which Fiji
Gotcha. There
gives
it
her the
is.
coin and gets hit by a bus. So I don't
There it
know, maybe
is.
the coin knows who's getting the coin next and that person's not affected.
I love that. I love that. That's it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that to move on. I really am like 100% on board with that.
No, I just thought that up on the spot. I was like, okay, coin knows where it's going next.
Yeah, man,
So
you act like you've seen a lot of Twilight Zone, sir.
wow. Um, Season two, though, I does this one is probably even not as bad an offender as a few other episodes, but I have found a few episodes are really great, and then they just kind of fizzle on the landing. This one does
What are these,
okay
40
on the
minutes?
landing. This one's
44,
actually
4
longer.
minutes?
This one was like 40. Most of them are like 35.
Yeah, see,
Um,
I'm always gonna be more of a fan of the shorter Twilight Zone, the shorter form, because the 1 hour ones, when we went back, on those seasons of Twilight Zone where they're an hour, those just don't tend to be the ones that I go back to,
we
you know?
myself and other guests have found that season two mostly sticks to 35 minutes, which is pretty reasonable.
It
It's
is.
longer than the 60s version, but whatever. It's not
Yeah.
trying to drag it to 50. This one I think ended at about 42 minutes, a little bit more padded out, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, and you're throwing an extra 10 minutes of screen time on there, and no, forget it. I mean, it was a 1 hour slot, um, when I guess its original aired, but I didn't see it I don't remember seeing it with commercials. Maybe I did.
Well, this didn't no, this was all like just dumped on a streaming service, right? On the same day. So
No, no,
Lynch
no.
did
No, this
no.
was a weekly show.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
I'm
Because
fairly certain it was weekly.
season one, from what it seems season one was weekly, but season two was not.
Maybe that's the case then. Wow, I
That's
really
it.
don't remember.
Yeah, season one was definitely well, because I do the trivia every week and I have to type these dates down, and it's
Okay.
been the same for every episode this season.
Shit. Okay. Well, I'm with you, man. I think brevity is the answer.
Does Jasmine deserve her trip into the Twilight Zone?
No. No,
Yet,
because she didn't ask for that.
yet she kind of had it foisted, and then saw a traumatic situation where Fiji runs in front of a bus. So, um,
Yeah, no, she had no idea what was happening to her. It wasn't like she saw this thing that had this power and then was like, "Oh, I want that." You know what I mean? It was,
the
and in
comedian
that
was a
way,
little bit more. In the comedian, he at least had like an inkling about what was going on. Like
oh
there
no,
was
he did. That's what I was saying earlier. Like the comedian is what, in writing terms, of what I refer to as a moral trap. It was very precise, and but this is kind of, yeah, I mean, this is more of the cursed object thing where it's not like, oh, this thing will give me great, like rubbing the genie in the bottle. That's not what happened. She had no idea it was thrust upon her. It's a tragedy.
Hmm. And
It
then for a
really, I felt
sister,
bad for her.
well, okay, I was about to say for a sister as well, who gets killed by
Mhm.
her, but clearly, what she's a surgeon, not a musician, and it seems like Jasmine's only in this cabin for like a week, maybe. So, what does the sister do after taking the coin for safekeeping?
Well, that's the thing. There is some jealousy from her sister. Her sister is like, picking at her because she doesn't have a career. And so there's an argument earlier on in the episode where they're talking about, well, you're a doctor. And she's like, I'm just a doctor or whatever. And so there is this thing that goes on between them. And so that's part of that surprise, that supposed surprise that we were talking about earlier that like no one would have bought into. Because it's like, yeah, but people take the smallest bit of fame or the smallest chance of fame and they run with it. Fame does shitty things to people. That's the thing. I know great people who, I know people who, filmmakers who got a chance, got financed, and got a chance to work in a real movie studio, and I went to see them there, and they were total dicks. I'm like, what happened to you? You know? So I think that her sister probably would have. I think that shiny coin, knowing what would happen, was very attractive to her. I think she wanted it.
Yeah, but I'm seeing here with the real life analogies, like, hey, did Marvin Gaye deserve to be shot by his father? You know,
Oh
which
my God.
you would say no. Well, that's the thing here, right? Did Zara deserve to get stabbed to death by her sister? You know, it's a similar
No,
question. So,
no, I don't think so. No, she didn't deserve it, but she has more. She has more to do with what happened to her than Jasmine did by comparison.
but then her trade's a surgeon. So why
Mhm.
does it suddenly become music? Shouldn't she just become an amazing surgeon? Like all the machines start giving you like really good, heartbeat pulses now.
I'm fairly certain
Even
that
when
the
the
coin.
even when the patient's dying.
No, I'm fairly certain the coin is going to work the same on everyone.
It's a
It's
musical
got that.
coin.
Yeah, because you think about it, if the guy from the comedian, if it was a coin, right, and he was aware of the coin, he would have grabbed it in 2 seconds, knowing full
And
well, he would have taken it.
they're just like, here, take it. Okay, I guess it's mine now. But
Yep.
sister did keep it for safekeeping, in the quotations. Um,
Yeah, she just probably couldn't resist. You know what I mean? It was too temptation was too great. Either that or it
but
does the same thing to whoever is holding it.
well, let's put this guy on the tripometer. 0 ain't trippy, 5 real trippy. I feel like you're making a mouth for 2. That's a 5 mouth.
Yeah. Okay, the tripometer, I'm gonna base it on how extreme the fame becomes. That surgery scene, that's up there. It's very
Yeah.
divorced from reality. That's Naked Gun almost. You know what I mean? So that, ugh, I just every time we ask this, I have to consider it almost on like your scale of trippy. I always try to remember like how you measure that. Um,
Well, so do
how
I.
many? How high is the scale? Five?
Yeah, 5 is the top. Although,
Oh man,
people take liberties if they feel like it.
yeah. I'm gonna have to say 2.5, and that 2.5 is only because of that surgery scene. But it's a great scene.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to you. I mean, I thought last night when it was my numbers, and it was 3. So,
Mhm.
and yes, the surgery scene probably bumps it up a notch.
Yeah, I was
Because there's
close to three,
otherwise,
but
visually, there's not a whole lot of weirdness going on.
no, and also it's very plausible. I mean, it's satire, but most of it is not terribly broad. You know what I mean? Like they're commenting on I wouldn't say mediocre talent, but just yeah, just like fame that comes from fame itself. You know what I mean? Not
Right. Not raw
not
talent fame.
talent. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Or, it's like you have talent in other things, right? Like
Mhm.
most K-pop stars, I don't imagine they're probably very good musicians, but they're like military level dance people.
Yeah. Yeah, and all that matters. We here are just about a week away from the Michael Jackson movie. There's a
Everyone
reason
asks
why
for.
he's well, I still don't know how long it is, and I've got a ticket to see an advanced screening of it. I may be there for like 2 days. I have no idea. It can't be. It can't be less than 3.5 hours. How long was the Elvis movie? Because that was one where they covered his entire life.
Nah,
Look, he's
I
got a
was think
copy.
I was seeing, but it's probably in the second layer. So I'm not going to go
Yeah,
looking for
okay.
it. It was a little too. No, I meant just like the. I feel like at this point in time, trying to do a Michael Jackson biopic is weird ground to be trotting on.
Well, considering like now we're kind of like forgiving a lot of people culturally that did awful things. I think Michael Jackson is not as divisive as someone who was actually convicted of a crime per
Mm.
se, rather than just being accused of it. But who knows? Undeniably, he had that combination of great musical ability and just comfort with fame-ish, I guess. I mean, I guess we'll find out in the movie how well
There's an
that worked out
interesting
for him.
one. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how comfortable he was with fame. Also, from what age 10? Yeah, that's not so great. Um,
I know. Yeah, because here we're in this movie we're people are shot to megastardom immediately. And Kurt Cobain comes to mind as well, a guy who only wanted his band to be as famous as his favorite bands, which were all like, indie level stuff. I think the Pixies would have been the height of Nirvana's fame if he could have chosen. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that level. And so who knows? But
That's
I,
but have you heard Michael Jackson's demos? That's an interesting thing where, talent versus ability are interesting. He'll do like you can hear demos he did of songs from like Thriller or stuff where he doesn't play any instruments, so he's just doing every instrument with his mouth.
that's cool. That's to me that's cool.
And then Quincy Jones would take it in the studio and like, okay, here's how we do it in the studio. But I did
Yeah,
find it interesting
that's
that
cool.
he couldn't play anything, so he's just like, I'm going to do all the instruments with my mouth.
Yeah. Well, you get Thriller or you get Don't Worry, Be Happy, I guess.
Well, you go into the studio and let Quincy Jones produce your acapella demo, which
Right?
Bobby McFerrin did not do, I guess. That's
No.
that's well, his whole thing is of course doing weird acapella stuff from the start, which
Yeah. But between him and Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, I'd probably rather be left in a room with Bobby
there
McFerrin.
there's Bobby McFerrin does have a lot of talent. He has some very good tracks. He is famous for a piece of garbage. Sorry if you like that song, but that
No,
song
no.
sucks. But he's got like a song called I think like Beyond Words, where he's just like doing all vocals, like no words. Like
Yeah,
it's
no, I
good
I
stuff.
was
It's
a fan of
jazz.
his prior to that, and well, you know me, man. I was a voice guy from the jump. I loved like Michael Winslow and God, what was that guy's name? Fred something from Nickelodeon. I
Hmm.
love that stuff.
Al Jarreau, he's another one that always confused me. Roof Garden, that song confused the hell out of me as a kid. I was like, why are you singing like that? Love the song, by the way, but I'm just like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, no, I still ask that question. Al Jarreau's a whole other thing.
But yeah. Okay. Well, we're still talking. I think if we're talking music, we're kind of on topic, but I do feel that we're probably finishing up on Ovation here. So,
Yeah, no, we got it. We decided the triple meter. What was your grade was similar to
three,
mine.
three. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went slightly higher in yours. But yeah, I guess it's late April or so for folks listening. What's the Gonzoriffic rap these days?
Okay, so in late April, we have a new DVD mixtape out called Hail Satin at gonzoriffic.com. And that is a compilation of all of our short films we made in 2024 and 2025. April 18th, we are shooting our newest production, Buck Naked Bigfoot. And that that's gonna be part of our underground movie show in November, which there's no date for it yet. But yeah, so right now, as of this recording, you can go if you're a physical media collector, you can go grab Hail Satin at gonzorific.com. And as always, my book Everybodies, um, if it's not behind an adult filter,
I was about to
is
say it's
available
harder
on
to find,
Amazon.
isn't it now?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It's a book of interviews of women over 30 about the way the relationship with their body has changed over time. And so there are nude photos in there, but they're kind of just illustrations for the interviews. It's not like a book of nude photography per se, and so I don't understand. But whatever, dude.
Since we've been talking music, I'll make the music plug today. All
Do
the
it.
insane amounts of music I make can be found at rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com. Uh, hopefully, clap while you're listening. Clap so hard you can't
Woohoo!
hear the music anymore.
Right, do it. Just
Okay.
don't get the clap.
Yeah. We can't clap on Zoom. Learn that at the beginning of the podcast. I think I already knew that. I think I half knew that you weren't going to hear it, but I thought I'd try it anyway because
Clap on Zoom.
it's so episode specific, right? But you were just talking normally. I'm like, ah, this ain't working at all.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think let me have a look at the films and filth list because now we are doing the list again. I think you are penciled in for something relatively soon.
Ooh, yeah, I'll need to know. Because my calendar's been bananas this whole year so far.
There's
I
a
got
little
myself
wiggle
into too
room.
many things. Well, I'm supposed to be
Um,
editing a podcast for someone that did like a 3 episode series.
Actually, you're
Uh,
not listed for anything particularly soonish, but I can shout out a few titles, and this would all be probably like, anywhere from a month to 2 months.
okay, let me throw.
Uh, the Starving Games. I doubt you want that.
No,
Steel.
yeah, love that one.
Okay, Vampires Suck. That's probably
Mm-mm, have
shitty.
not. No.
No, yeah, we have to do all these shitty, satire movies. I
Well,
think
no, the vampires suck. I'm sure I saw some of it. I think James DeBello might be in it, but yeah, I don't care.
oh, there's some good bad ones that we're getting to though. This is probably a little farther down the limit. There's the Emoji Movie, Slender Man, Kazam, Catwoman. I'm sure you want to call at least one of those.
Okay, okay, go back. I loved Emoji.
Slender
I
Man,
I might I
Kazam.
might I might own Emoji. Did not see Man. That was when I was quitting Movie Pass because suddenly that was the only movie you could use Movie Pass for. It was like right before it died. What was before that? Before Catwoman?
Kazam.
Okay, no, but uh, Catwoman, yeah,
I kind of assumed you'd want Catwoman. Okay, I'll put you down for
yeah, I'm a
Steel
fan.
and Catwoman. Stuck in the DC shit zone,
That's
but that's
fine. I
fine.
mean, I own both. I also own the Emoji Movie. Yeah, I wrote a glowing review of Emoji Movie. It was. I don't know if it was a case of the bar was so low, but like we all, like me, Julie, and Lena, all loved it.
Okay, we'll find out. Again, sometimes, we find ourselves quite enjoying some of the quote unquote bad movies, don't we?
Of course
Uh,
you do,
although we
because they're
did
actually good.
the last one we had to do was the open house. Um,
I've not seen that. I don't know what that
don't you
is.
don't need to. It's Netflix horror from 2018.
But see, now I want to.
Okay, maybe you should. Listen to our podcast that comes out this week or next week about it.
Oh
But
no,
yeah,
there's ones that I've listened to that made me watch the movie.
we were just like, is there any like what would make this movie better? Anything. There's like nothing happens in the movie. That was our take on it. Like, what would make this better? Maybe this, maybe this. Yes to all of those. It's nothing.
I
It's
got to
just
tell you, man, and this is gonna make you laugh. I re- when Lena was first born, I had this feeling that I needed to make a documentary about Gonzoriffic in case it I was not physically able to do that and be a parent like and work full time. I don't know if you remember this, but I
I
interviewed
remember
you
that.
on Zoom.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So that project
I saw your
remains
link
like
and I was like, oh, was I? I was like, oh, that's me. Okay. Oh, I did this. What do you know?
yeah, so that project remains unedited because as it turned out, Gonzoriffic wasn't over in 10 years and it continues. And so I don't know if or when I'll ever put that together. However, um I also found my notes for an ADTV documentary in which a future me digitizes all of that, and a future you and I kind of host it like the Nothing is Terrible guys, or Everything is Terrible. The reason why I call it that is because anyway, so the title of that is I put in my notes is What is this nothing? The ADTV
Mm.
story. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
remember saying what is this nothing?
Oh, yeah. I remember saying that.
That was fucking genius.
That
Because
sounds
I
like something I
says,
would have said yesterday anyway. So.
well, but you were a kid. You were a kid. You said that, and it's like it was one of my favorite things anyone ever said ever. Because like nothing could be better, and you go, "What is this nothing?" What? I totally had no idea just what I'd been hit with. You're like, you said nothing could be better. What is this nothing? I was
Yeah.
telling people that like my ability for improv comes from not only having watched so much like Second City and adjacent stuff with you, but the fact that we were fully doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't even
Yeah. We
know.
didn't know we were,
We were
yeah, exactly. We didn't know we were doing that, but I think we were
we were
yes
fully
anding
doing
most.
it.
I think we very quickly figured yes and out because it sucks if you don't
Mhm.
do that.
No, God, dude, I this is. a good maybe 15, 20 years ago, but I read that book, Truth in Comedy by Del Close, who's like was the master of improv or whatever. It's like the Bible of improv. And so much stuff in there about like setting up the other person to be hilarious. We just instinctively were doing. Like it's kind of amazing.
Mhm. That
But
said,
anyway,
I wouldn't tell anyone I'm good at improv, but
shit, we did it though.
yes,
I
yes.
mean, we were like two
I mean, too, I
solid
guess
years.
podcasting to a certain extent, if you want to be kind of funny, I guess some podcasters don't want. I usually do. I usually want to have a few laughs in a podcast. So
No, the way you throw in segues, are like funny and interesting. You still do it. You have that ability. Like I tonight, I could pick out once the recording's out, I could timestamp and tell you which parts you were doing it. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd mention that here at the
yeah,
end.
groovy. Yeah, yeah. And I could pay. I'd definitely be up for doing a few vids that way sometime. That'd be fun. And I haven't seen
Yeah.
any of these for longer than you have, so. I mean, we
To
got
my,
the movies on YouTube, right? So I can look at those if I feel like it.
oh, ADTV. Yeah. No, the that and the cassettes. Um, we were just good. We
Yeah, I think you
just
have
were.
everything now. Yeah, I don't think
Mhm.
there's stuff left
No, I
on
do. I've had
Clubhouse.
everything for years.
Yeah.
Because your mom gave me those tapes right before you and Mimi moved that last time.
Right.
But it was, yeah, man. Like I've since met so many great like theater actors who cannot improv and are very uncomfortable with it.
It's a different
And
skill,
I
isn't
was
it?
just like, dude, we nailed it when we were like 10 or something. So
Back to music, I'm very comfortable just to improv around folks. Whereas sometimes if it is like strict, well, I play in orchestras, obviously that's extremely strict, right? There's no
right,
improv
right.
there. But yeah,
Yeah.
so now I don't know what point I'm trying to make. Um,
No, what you're saying is that like it translates to other things.
right,
And
yeah.
I think that is just that grounding, that early experience has probably served us both like better than we maybe even realize in our daily
Mm-mm.
lives.
Oh, yeah,
And it
teaching English
translated to other
classroom.
art forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so.
anyway, I do need to scuttle off to work now, so I will. Yeah, I don't have anything I need you for. Oh, do call your Peel movie, by the way. Candyman will be included
Oh, really?
because he wrote it, right?
I guess so, right? Or he was the producer. Nia DaCosta was the director
Yeah,
of
the
the
cost is
Marvels.
direct. Yes, as well.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
someone I don't even remember who. Someone said you gotta do Candyman too, and I was like, yes, no
Let's do it.
argument.
The best Candyman movie. I can
Okay,
expound on that. Okay.
okay. I'll bring you on for that one. The movies I might do two guests because it's a lot of people seem interested in doing the movies, obviously. So
Oh yeah. I mean, Us is my favorite of the three that he directed, so but it doesn't matter.
I feel like
Whatever. Whatever you
Candyman's your
need.
speed. You seem like the Candyman.
Well, yeah, because I've seen all three of the other ones, so
Right. Okay, catch you later. I'll